discourage companies from looking at it as meeting a legal requirement, because I think a way to achieve efficacy is really to conceive of it more as a management challenge or even opportunity. But turning more to the specifics, I think the first step for almost any company is to make sure it has a sound understanding of its ethics and compliance risks. For too many companies, the exercise is one of simply looking backwards, much as the experience of the Maginot Line proved ineffective in World War II, so does a purely rearward gaze on ethics and compliance trip up a company's effort to make their program effective. And so having a risk assessment process and using the results of that as the foundation for one's compliance program, meaning for one's ethical system. Another specific area that companies don't always pay enough attention to is having robust policies and procedures. And I think too often there's a sense that most of what one needs in ethics and compliance comes from the character of one's workforce. And while that's obviously important, there are many technical areas, things like export control and competition law, where character won't take you very far, and you really need robust systems to make sure employees understand what's required of them and have the resources to meet those requirements. And the fourth area does deal with resources more generally and accountabilities, and that's to make sure that your standards aren't seen as unfunded compliance mandates, that you have both the resources and the defined responsibilities at all levels in a company, not just the compliance officer, to meet the standards that you set for yourself. And not having those resources and accountabilities in some ways can be worse than having no standards at all. I would say a fifth area is checking. Checking is a variety of things. It can be compliance, auditing, but also monitoring, which is, I guess, broadly defined as real-time checking, and having various efficacy metrics with respect to the overall compliance program and the components thereof. And finally, and it's a large topic, but having a cultural approach to compliance and ethics can also be essential to making the program effective. And I guess the one thing I would emphasize there is that a cultural approach is more likely to be seen as appealing by employees, and therefore for them to see themselves as compliance partners and not as compliance subjects, which is something that can trip up any ethics and compliance program.